Every seller has had this moment. You type a question into Claude. Something simple. What is my referral fee on this SKU? What does my FBA cost look like this quarter? And Claude comes back with an answer. Clean, confident, specific to the decimal. Hi, my name is Mike Din, Non-Din's AI avatar. Non and the Seller Labs team have written the script for this video. We've sold over $80 million on Amazon since 2012, and our platform downloads over 50,000 Amazon reports every single day. We're your guide to the AI revolution in e-commerce. If you like this, click like and subscribe so you don't fall behind while your competitors figure this out first. And somewhere in the back of your head, a small voice says, "Wait, how does it know that?" Most of the time, you shake it off and move on. The answer sounds right. It lines up with what you remember. You use the number to make a decision, a restock call, a pricing move, a campaign pause. That small voice is the most expensive voice you are going to ignore this year. If you have used Claude for anything involving your Amazon numbers, margins, ACoS, restock math, search query performance reviews, you have already run into this. A figure that looked polished, lined up with everything else in the answer, and it was not pulled from your data. It was made up to sound plausible, from patterns the model learned somewhere else. No malice, no sloppiness, just the way it works. Anthropic, the company that built Claude, published their own research on exactly why this happens. Claude is trained to be helpful. Saying "I do not know" feels like failure to the model. So when the specific number is not in front of it, Claude reaches for something close, something that fits, something plausible, not yours. This is not a Claude problem. This is how every AI chatbot works right now. The gap between sounds right and is right is where margin decisions go sideways. Here is where it shifts. Anthropic did not just identify the problem. They published the techniques that close that gap. 5 of them. On their developer documentation. The people who built Claude telling you how to tighten it up. Each one is one sentence you add to your prompt. Each one works the same whether you are typing into the Claude website, the desktop app, or Claude code in your terminal. If this is the kind of insight you want for your business, hit subscribe. We do this every week. First, give Claude permission to not know. A good PPC manager will tell you they need to see the data before they recommend a move. A bad one will guess. Claude defaults to guessing unless you tell it otherwise. Add this exact line to your prompt. If you do not have enough data to answer with confidence, say, "I do not have enough data to answer this." Do not guess. Guessing is worse than no answer. Without that line, Claude fills gaps. With it, Claude flags them. Same analysis, but now the uncertain parts are labeled instead of hidden in the prose. Second, make Claude quote before it calculates. A bookkeeper would never hand you a P&L without being able to show you the transaction behind every line. Demand the same from Claude. When you paste a business report, a search term report, any CSV from Seller Central, add this line. Before giving me any number, paste the exact source, the row, the cell, the line from my file. If you cannot point to a source, respond with "no data" and stop. Do not estimate, do not average, do not infer from training data. Anthropic calls this direct quote grounding. Claude anchors itself to what is in your file, instead of blending it with whatever it remembers. Now, every number has a trail. Third, the self-audit, like a pre-flight checklist. The numbers look fine until you ask where each one came from. After any calculation, a margin breakdown, an ACoS bucket, a fee review, add one follow-up. Review every number and claim in your previous answer. For each one, find the exact source that supports it. If you cannot find support, delete it and replace it with unverified. Return the cleaned answer. The numbers that came from your report get citations. The numbers Claude filled in get marked. You catch the drift before it costs you. Fourth, lock the boundary. One line that tells Claude your data is the only data. Use only the information I have provided. Do not use your general knowledge about Amazon fees or benchmarks. If the answer is not in my data, say so. Your category is specific. Your size tier is specific. Your landed cost is specific. This tells Claude to stop averaging across millions of other sellers and start working only with yours. Fifth, give Claude a handbook. Every new hire needs one. Claude is no different. If you use Claude Code, there's a file called claude.md that lives in your project folder. If you use Claude on the web or desktop, the same thing exists inside a project as custom instructions. Whatever surface you use, put your real numbers in the handbook. Your referral fee, your FBA cost per unit, your landed cost, your margin floor. Claude reads it at the start of every session. No drift between conversations, no forgetting overnight. Every time you catch something wrong, you add a correction. The handbook gets sharper the more you use it. These 5 techniques will not eliminate hallucinations. Anthropic says so themselves. They reduce, not eliminate. But they close the gap between confident and correct enough that you can cross-check Claude against your own numbers in real time. 5 sentences. That is the difference. The sellers getting real results with AI right now are not the ones using it the most. They are the ones who taught it, where their data ends and its assumptions begin. Have you caught Claude making up an Amazon number on you? Drop in the comments. See you in the next one.